particularly if you watch a lot of public access television, you know that there are a lot of people on, besides us, who have floated some interesting ideas about the way the world works. We have a lot of people with some very vivid imaginations, let's say, and have beliefs about certain things that regard the way that the government is run, the way that things get covered up. Let's say certain momentous events that the mainstream media doesn't cover, and you know, we get emailed about these kinds of topics all the time. And of course, obviously, I'm talking about the conspiracy theory that everybody knows well as the reptilian humanoid extraterrestrials who run the planet.
That's not a paranoid conspiracy theory. That's true.
Oh, yes. This is the one that I wanted to talk about, and mainly it's kind of a cop-out because this is not really the conspiracy theory that a lot of people believe in. In fact, I'd love it if some reptilian humanoid or reptoid believers would actually call in, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. Whereas if I covered certain other topics, I'm sure we'd get inundated with calls and emails like we have in the past, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
The point of talking about the reptoid conspiracy instead is that this is one that it's easy not to take seriously, and so it's a good framework for talking about the problem with conspiracy theories in general. Now, when I say conspiracy theories, obviously this is a very special category that doesn't just mean ideas that conspiracies exist, because the word conspiracy is a very general word which just means, you know, to conspire just means to get together and plan something. The kinds of conspiracy theories that I'm talking about are a lot more specific and tend to take a particular form. So, if you haven't heard of these reptoids before, let me introduce you to them. Basically, a quick Wikipedia search. The Wikipedia page links to two really valuable resources for certain definitions of valuable. A couple of guys who promote similar but not quite the same theories. One of them is John Rhodes and one of them is David Icke.
I think it's Icky.
Icky. Yeah, David
And if
Icke.
it's not, I'm calling him that forever anyway.
Okay. John Rhodes, let's see, I think has the slightly less wacky version, but that's really not saying a lot, but he has a better introduction. So let's see. This is from his autobiographical blurb on his website. Since the early 1990s, John Rhodes, the original crypto hunter, has provided television and radio news, lectures, workshops, and media presentations to national and international audiences regarding his terrestrial reptoid hypothesis. This hypothesis claims that the beings that humanity has been calling ETs or aliens are in many cases sightings of sentient reptilian humanoid or reptoid beings that are native to Earth or fellow Terrans. The terrestrial reptoid hypothesis further contends that the ancestors of the reptoids and possibly other life forms retreated into underground caverns during environmental cataclysms long ago, and there they continued to thrive and evolve into the sentient beings they appear to be today. Their descendants, according to the hypothesis, have science and military representatives that are secretly interacting with human subjects, both civilian and military. They appear to be currently living in 3 areas. 1. Under Earth's surface, in cavern cities and villages, in remote and sometimes local geological locations such as state parks and wilderness areas, both U.S. and foreign. 2. Off-world. And 3. In alternate vibrational states of reality, other dimensions. According to Rhodes, people have reported interacting with half-human and half-reptile beings in various parts of the world since the dawn of mankind. While most of these ancestral memories or mythologies are symbols of ancient religious self-identification, a few appear to be relating actual encounters similar to those reported in the modern UFO culture. Now you'll notice that that's the guy that I said was slightly less wacky. Because, and I'll justify this here, at least in his version, the reptoids have the good sense to remain hidden or sneakily, secretly interact with a few humans at a time. That's not what David Icke thinks. Now, I don't have, let's see, I don't have anything printed from David Icke's personal website, but I do have this very long and hilarious interview with him, which is linked from the blog page, atheistexperience.blogspot.com. And it's great in a lot of ways. One of them is because the interviewer himself is so unbelievably credulous. It starts, well, let's see, David has written something called The Biggest Secret, a book which you can get at probably not fine bookstores everywhere, but at least some bookstores.
Now, isn't David Icke, in addition to this, isn't he also a proponent of a lot of like Holocaust denial and?
Yeah, I found one on global warming denial, and you know, he's got all kinds of stuff on his site. But you know, his reptilian thing is my favorite. So either he's a special brand of
crazy, or he's making all this crap up to market and keep himself in business.
Or he's right.
Dun, dun, dun. See, how could I have overlooked that?
In fact, I know how you must have overlooked it. You must be part of the conspiracy to cover up the reptoids and the global warming and the other stuff all at once. Let's see. Here's what David Icke thinks. The biggest secret, referring to the title of his book, that's emerging is that back in the ancient world, we can debate when, but certainly you could pick it up around 5000 BC, a series of bloodlines emerged, particularly, but not exclusively, really, the focus of power was in the Near and Middle East. These bloodlines became the leaders and the royal lines of that ancient Near and Middle Eastern area. This bloodline would appear to go back to an extraterrestrial intervention which created hybrid bloodlines. This, I think, is referred to in the Old Testament, which is, oh, that's beautiful tying things together. The Old Testament, which is, of course, just an edited rewrite of more ancient texts where it talks about the sons of God who interbred with the daughters of men, creating the hybrid line, the Nephilim. When you go back to the Hebrew, the sons of God become the sons of the gods. And so often when you see the translation into the English, the King James Version of the Bible as God in the Old Testament is actually translated from the meaning gods. That part is true.
Kind of.
I mean, and one of the things that I want to highlight here is that one of the things that sometimes fools gullible people into taking conspiracy theories more seriously than they could is because they include elements of things that are not widely known and in fact true, like the fact that the early Hebrew Bible refers to plural gods and not just one God.
Yeah.
Like God refers to himself as we once in a while.
Yeah, the best explanation I've heard is that conspiracy theorists take disparate facts and weave a story through them. And the facts tend to work as kind of like a support for the story in between.
Exactly.
When in fact there's no good reason to suppose that the story is actually true at all.
Right.